Colonel Jones, I'd like to start with you. The IDF says there are approximately 30 launches identified from Lebanon toward northern Israel. We're talking about today alone. Is it just a matter of time before this conflict expands?
Well, first off, Nichole, thanks for having me here. I'm pretty excited about it. So I don't think that it is an inevitability that this has to expand. You see recently, as recent as today, the bipartisan resolution from the Senate going out to Iran explaining not to allow this to expand using its proxies. I think that the assets that have been moved into the region allow U.S. forces to escalate, to de-escalate, and protect U.S. forces. And it also signals to Iran the seriousness of U.S. support to Israel. So I don't think it has to expand, but the real way that that's going to only work is that we remain engaged into the region.
Yeah, U.S. assets in the region. Hal, I throw it over to you now. I mean, if this conflict does expand again, it may not be, it's not necessarily inevitable, but if it does, what role does the U.S. play? I mean, because the U.S. and NATO have what some are calling this Western Armada of 20 warships in that region.
Nichole, it's a huge armada. We got 2 carrier task forces out there. We have the most advanced carrier, the Gerald R. Ford, with a very high sortie rate, sitting right off the coast in the Mediterranean. And I think it's pretty clear to Hezbollah. I think that's been communicated through not just through Iran and through Qatar, but also through the Lebanese government itself, which the repercussions if they do weigh in. Now, Hezbollah has a difficult situation. Politically, they have to somehow appease their own base, if you will, their own membership by doing something. On the other hand, they don't want to do enough that would trigger a full-on response. And that full-on response could involve U.S. strike missions into southern Lebanon and into Syria. There's also over the region, they've been attacking U.S. bases. And again, Iran, a lot of discussion with Iran on the repercussions of keeping up that sort of activity or increasing that kind of activity.
All right, so Colonel, back to you. Whether or not this expands, do you think we'll need boots on the ground, or is our naval support enough?
So I think that there is a presence on the ground right now, security forces throughout the region, and what we are able to bring into this region, just like we talked about, are those joint enablers and those joint assets that allow us to leverage. I don't see an expansion. I don't think right now there's a desire for a ground expansion of U.S. forces into the region. But I think that increased, intelligence sharing, increased capability for targeting, and that sort of capability, along with the assets that have been moved into the region, are adequate to currently support. And again, only through the use of our assets and our engagement are we able to address both this existential fight for Israel, and then also the humanitarian concerns as to how this war is being prosecuted.
All right, Hal, I'd like to talk to you some strategy here. The IDF's progress so far, officials now saying that, they've been able to secure part of Gaza all the way to the sea. So basically, we're seeing the Gaza Strip cut in half now. How important is that?
Well, it's pretty critical. They want to close off that area. They want to contain Hamas. They want to separate Hamas as effectively as possible from the civilian population. I just read or saw that they'd opened up that pathway, if you will, to get more civilians out of that northern sector into the southern sector, out of that zone of combat, if you will. They're also fighting the information space fight. That's been a big problem, and they're still dealing with it. The Hamas is basically putting out the numbers of the number of people killed, number of people injured. Those are Hamas numbers, and the president has said those are not accurate. But now the IDF is in there. They're showing pictures like they did. This is a protected site. See, Hamas is using it. This is where they store the weapons and rockets. Hamas is using it. And making that case, which really, at the end of the day, will make a big difference in however they explain all these strike missions under the international law of war.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.